Let's play! Whoa! Well, that was a very anime opening, if I say so myself. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. You all may call me Pharaoh, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. I meant to do it more so for the month of October, because this is horror-based and Halloween and all that, but something tells me this is gonna take quite a while to get through, so I wouldn't be surprised if this goes on to Christmas. Either way, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Raging Loop. This is a visual novel that frankly, I can't remember exactly where I heard of this game. I want to say when I was playing Genosha earlier this year, I could have sworn I had viewers tell me of this game because it's somewhat similar. However, I mean, similar in the sense that apparently it still has that werewolf mafia type of, like, who is what type of theme. However, this is probably closer more to a kinetic visual novel, and what I mean by that is it's really, really just a bunch of reading. Now, and those types of visual novels, they don't really interest me too much because I want to do something in my VNs, like Ace Attorney. I'm solving, mysteries and murders and doing court cases, like I'm doing things, or in Zero Escape or in I'm still doing stuff. Here, there's choices, sure, but I'm not sure what else I'm going to be doing, per se, Either way, I heard this is a very good visual novel, and the art style is pretty damn nice, and it'll keep me in suspense. So I had this game for a while. I figured, you know what? I might as well do it for October or around that time. So here we are. Now, before I get going, let's take a look at the options here. We'll make the text speed a little fast. Keep it as is. Keep it as is. Sure. Yeah, keep vibration on. Okay. Data initialization and forced unlock. What the hell does it even say there? Please use only in unforeseen circumstances such as data deletion. I guess it means like literally just unlock everything in the game. That's kind of an interesting little thing to have. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave everything alone. I'll leave the volume as is. Now, for the voices, well, frankly, since I'm going to be voicing, I might as well mute it. I do apologize if you guys are looking forward to it, but to my knowledge, this game does not have any English dubbing, so even if I left the voices on and you guys were just listening, you guys more than likely were not going to understand, so yay, voice acting by me. Well, let's just read. Okay, we are already starting off with Rikako? I bid you welcome to the world of the visual novel Raging Loop. I am nobody special, honestly. Simply consider me part of the interface. You may refer to me as Rikako. I already don't trust you. You are most likely playing this game for the first time, and I'm here to explain a few things about it. This work is quite strange, you see. It's recommended that the uninitiated take the time to read everything here. Those uploading their gameplay should at least read the section videos and sharing. Really now? If you read until the end, you'll find a sexy CG of me. It doesn't exist. We truly do live in a society, a harsh society. How sad. The hell? Now, where should I begin? Well, I am intrigued about this. However, I was somewhat already aware of this particular section, but let's read everything else first. Raging Loop is a VN. Much like regular novels, the story is told through text and the enjoyment comes from reading it. If you're familiar with the party games Werewolf and Mafia, this VN bears a close resemblance to those, but keep in mind it is just that, a resemblance. Sincerest apologies to those who are hoping to play an internal game of Werewolf with 20 super AI Rikakos. I weep and bleed for you, truly, how sad. Of course, this is not merely a novel. As you carry on, you will sometimes come upon choices which affect the story. It's quite amazing. The characters have lively visual depictions as well as voices, making it easy to immerse yourself in this world. Well, not really voices anymore now, is there? To enjoy the voices to the fullest extent, or to simply avoid bothering your neighbors with the sound of English screams, please consider using headphones. The story is obscenely lengthy, really. Obscenely lengthy. Oh, this might be a very long LP then. So please take care not to be drawn in so thoroughly that you begin losing sleep. Also, you may be aware of this already, but Raging Loop is based entirely around fabricated murders and horrific scenarios. It's tailor-made for all you fans of suspense, thrillers, horror, and mystery. Of course, this is a work of fiction, so it has nothing to do with real people, groups, and incidents. So they led you to believe. It also includes fictional details about academic matters such as history, religion, mythology, science, and medicine. Relying upon it during exams will get you 0 points. How sad. Lastly, we do not endorse replicating the crimes and cruelty depicted in this work. Who would? Do you really have to tell me this game? What the hell? There's nothing to worry about as long as you differentiate between reality and fiction. This is, after all, fiction. I'm sure you are intelligent enough not to conflate things that happen in the game world with things that happen in real life. So enjoy a Raging Loop to your heart's content. I am very shocked that they have to... Wow, what a disclaimer. Okay. What about special functions? Allow me to tell you about Raging Loop's special functions. Raging Loop's story branches out in ways so complicated it might be hard to follow. Oh, trust me, I played all of the Kingdom Hearts series. I think I'll be okay. But there's no need to worry, for we have included a handy function called the scenario chart. You can access it at any time by simply opening the menu, giving you an overview of the scenario. And that's not all. Using the chart allows you to move to any chapter you've already been to, anytime, anywhere. Now, there's no need to save at every choice you come across, you can simply go back and choose again, so there's nothing to worry about. That's pretty nice. The scenario chart will be explained again when you have to use it, so don't worry if you don't quite understand it. And I do see that on the bottom, it says like menu, chart, all that stuff, so okay. Next up, keys. All branching in the story happens immediately when you make a choice. none of them start taking effect further down the line. However, some of the choices can only be unlocked when you have specific bits of information called keys. Many might say that searching for these keys is one of the major goals in this game. I'm assuming that's how you get the true ending. Don't worry if you don't understand how to search for them, it will be explained when you have one. Additionally, keep in mind that all routes unlocked by acquisition of a key will be open even if you have it saved after the fact. Oh, okay. This also means that you can't load back to a state when you didn't have the key. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any scene inaccessible, so it's not much of a problem, but it's something to keep in mind. For those commendable individuals who like to play without any keys again, please refer to the data reset option and use it wisely. I think I'll avoid that. Alright. What with the standard functions? In addition to the special functions, Raging Loop also has the basic functions you'd expect any VN to have. You can hide the text window, see the backlog, load, save, skip read text, skip to the next choice, and so on. Saving and loading work as they normally do. There's an autosave function as well, but it only saves each time you enter a new chapter, so don't rely on it too much. Please save manually whenever it feels appropriate, whether you've read to a part that calls for it or you're about to use a scenario chart. Okay. Next are the options. The options allow you to change the volume, text display speed, as well as a few other things. However, explaining it all will make you all very sleepy, so please either read other instructions or listen to certain someone's extra explanations. I'm counting on you, certain someone. Hey. Hi, sheep. Okay. So, there's that. Now, this is the only part I'm familiar with, and I just want you guys to see it for yourselves. Raging Loop is a VN, meaning that the story, events, and conclusions are very important. Because of this, it would be very troubling if someone uploaded everything to the internet. I'd be sad. Very sad. Then again, we do understand that those who want to enjoy the work with many other people. Because of this, we have set a guideline for how far we would like you to upload. This range covers the whole first main route and a little extra. Specifically, you can only upload until the choice at this section, Infiltration Q, entering the village. That's a lot, just to let you know. I'm sure you'll have enough content for your uploads. I actually think it's a bit too much. Uploaders who read everything aloud might get a sore throat. Please don't overdo yourselves, alright? Well, Rikako, I do appreciate the concern. However, I have played many VNs by myself, doing all the voices, and I've been okay. So, yeah. If you do intend to upload, please use the reminder function. If you have it set to on, when you reach the time to stop making a video, a strange sheep hops onto the screen and says end of the line. We would be grateful if you stop recording when you see him and try theorizing and arguing instead. This function is currently set to off. You know what? I love that idea. Even if I put it on, which I think I may put it on just for the hell of it, even when he comes on the screen, I doubt I'm going to stop the video right there. So I'm curious to see how the hell this looks. Very well. Set it to on. If you wish to change it, please go to introduction and come here again. Really? I gotta go back here to turn it off? How come I can't just go into the options and do it? That's weird. How about the share function? In Raging Loop, the share function is available throughout the whole game. This is so that you'll be free to make screenshots or record for yourself. Like Ricardo said, we would prefer if you do not upload the entire work. Please don't go beyond the set location. Otherwise, please feel free to use the function reasonably and responsibly. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm kind of at like a moral dilemma when it comes to this game. I'll be honest with you all. I have a feeling that a majority of people who are watching this right now, or anyone who stumbled across this, may not have even heard of Raging Loop before. So, I just feel that a lot of people are just not going to play it for themselves, and are just going to watch whoever that they prefer to watch go through the entirety of the game. So, frankly, I want to see everything, as I'm sure many of you guys do as well. So, let me know in the comments below what you think is more appropriate. Should I literally stop the LP after when it tells me to, or should I just do everything? Because also, before I even started this, I did look up various other Let's Plays of this game on YouTube, and there seems to be quite a bit, and they seem to be quite a lot of videos. So I'm assuming they showed everything. So I guess I was just worried, like, are they actually going to do something if I upload beyond what they said? You know, like, it's... I don't know. Well, either way, now that that's all out of the way, after like 15 or so minutes, let's go ahead and get into the actual story and see how this goes. Phew, that sure took a while. Thank you kindly for reading this far. Anyway, let's begin the story. Beyond the pockets of mist and hazes of blood, at the end of the ever-repeating despair and grief, please come and witness the truth of the werewolf village with your own two eyes. "5/11, son." Now, is that May 11th or is that November 5th? I'm not really sure. Either way. I guess sun means Sunday. Alright. And that stuff is just going to be there on the bottom the entire time, huh? Okay. I closed it on the side of the road and killed the engine. It was steeper than I thought. My bike was on the verge of giving out, so I pushed out and deployed a kickstand. Well, I'm lost. Maybe taking a ride down an unknown road with no sat-nav on me wasn't such a good idea. Wow, satellite navigation. Okay. I just followed the road, so I figured I wouldn't get lost, but now I was in some deep shit. No, cool it. This isn't a big deal. I sighed, took note of the fact that I've gotten lost in my pocket journal, and pulled out a map. Suddenly, a rush of memories flitted into my mind. I never even saw that word in my life. Flitted. Wow, we already have a choice that we can't even activate because apparently we need key number 4. Wow. Now let me go to the chart here. Let me see something. Now it says to detailed chart. So if I click X, okay. So it tells me, like, here, starting point, recall. So I guess Q means, like, a question, I'm assuming, and depending on your choice. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Now, what I'm curious about is how easy or how difficult is it going to be to obtain these actual keys, to obtain this information. So, and if I get those keys, is it going to highlight the choices that I can change now? Either way. We can't really do much here, so we'll just go forget about it. Lost. Reached dense mist. I'm 1% closer to my platinum trophy. I somehow kept forgetting about... I kept myself from remembering those things. After all, I got on this trip to forget. Ugh. Enough of that. I gotta focus on what's happening right now. Life is simple, just like this road. It's dark and there aren't any guides, but that means all you gotta think about is whether you go forward or back. Going back wasn't an option in this case, so I just moved forward. Still, I wanted to know where I was, at least, so I wanted to know where I was, at least, so I looked down at my map. It was all Greek to me. Last time I seen a sign, it was still light out, meaning that I've gotten lost after the sun had set. Sure, it was my own fault for just guessing which intersections I'd been passing through, and that had taken me 2 hours to conclude I was lost. Crazy to think that just 2 hours of aimless driving got me almost completely surrounded by mountains. They extended as far as the eye could see. If you flipped the scenery upside down and shook it, it's unlikely even a shred of civilization would tumble out. Besides the asphalt below, my sweet ride and the lamppost above, the first one in a while, mind you, There was nothing man-made here. The pocket map I had wasn't detailed enough for me to figure out where I was. Guess I'll keep driving. I'd go as far as I could. Worst comes to worst, I could just camp at the side of the road. I'm curious to know what year this game takes place. Obviously, I'm assuming someplace in either late 80s or early 90s. 2 hours later, I deeply regretted ever thinking that. Basically, camping wasn't an option. This mountain road has no side to camp on. A dump truck I'd pass barely ever fit on it. Or even fit on it. I'd also had my first close encounters with wild forest animals. I've already seen 2 boars and 3 deer in those 2 hours alone. One of the deer had run parallel to my bike while intently staring at me, and I had no idea what to think of that. I felt like it could smell my fear and did it just to make it worse. How dare the thing do that to a human? We're the kings of this planet, damn it! I'd have to remember to eat some venison once I came back to civilization. What? Okay. Man, we are some petty asshole, aren't we? Anyway, camping out here was a bad idea. I'd end up as either roadkill or animal food. And yet, I didn't back out. Why? Because I'm a pretty warped sort of guy, and I won't pretend otherwise. That was actually the reason why my once comfortable relationship had gone airy, whatever, and why I'd gone on a stupid trip. Still, despite acknowledging that, I chose to keep moving forward. It wasn't like I'd find a place to stay if I went back. I was actually starting to think that this experience might make a good conversation piece sometime down the road. It was really getting late at this point. Where would these roads take me anyway? It'd probably be disappointing. Soon enough, the road became flat. I was out of the mountain pass. The forest remained abundant, though, so I still didn't see much. Even so, the streetlights and signs were enough to make me feel like I was again nearing civilization. Was streetlights the right expression for lights in a forest? I had to look that up. As the road grew less rugged, I realized just how exhausted I was. All this bike handling had left my hands really sore, too. I really had to rest. Suddenly, I saw something unexpected. Powerful, colorful, artificial lights. A convenience store? Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was next to an intersection between a road I was on and another, even a thinner road that could probably support only a single car. The sea of trees ended, giving room for the majestic child of our consumerist society. Okay, yeah, that was an exaggeration. Apparently, even a damn store is a big deal for someone who just stepped out of the wild. It was called Fresh Mark. Oh, crap. Did I just visualize the T in there earlier? I guess so. You know, I'd seen several of them a few times during the day. It was probably a local franchise. The building didn't look all that old. At least the parking lot looked a lot smoother compared to the roads. This was a pretty weird place to build something like that, though. Was that close to a settlement? Or did they actually make a profit off of lost travelers? I just asked that or something. A local shopkeeper was bound to know what was around these parts, not to mention I was thirsty. I was welcomed by a weird chime sound. It looked like a normal convenience store. There were goods on the shelves, a counter on the left, and... Whoa! The worker at the counter was so mean-looking, it was scary. She was so imposing, I couldn't even have doubted it was if someone told me she was in charge of some ladies' army corps. Hey. Was this supposed to be a greeting? It was so damn cold, it actually gave me chills. Was this store shadier than it appeared? Was I about to be stupidly overcharged? Was this how this place made a profit? By taking advantage of lost people and basically beating them out of their money? Shit, that was scary. Clearly, the Wonderland had just only begun. Woo! I sure was excited for the beating. I grew more nervous and less enthusiastic by the second. I braced myself, but she just looked down at a magazine in her hands. Oh, so she was just a slacker. Slightly disappointed. What? You're disappointed you were not going to get your ass kicked? This guy's weird. I walked around the store. It was about what you would expect. There was a small shelf of energy drinks, followed by some stationaries, travel goods, sanitary stuff, etc. And one of the only times I actually see the word etc. spelt out. Interesting. There were sweets that came from toys, a shelf of cup ramen and dried food, a fridge, a freezer. It all looked normal. It was late, so the daily dish and packed lunch section was completely empty. The only special thing about this place was a section full of unpacked vegetables you'd expect to see at a greengrocer's. Maybe all rural convenience stores were like this? I was slightly surprised by that, but there weren't any local fine foods or anything, so all in all, it was an unremarkable store. If you ignored the clerk, anyway. I took a drink and brought it to the register. Yep, she really was the highlight of this place. What kind of clerk smokes while dealing with a customer? You're actually buying? Yes, I was actually buying. She was a clerk and I'd be her god, the customer. 126 yen. She didn't even scan it. This exchange was at the mercy of the clerk. God's dead! Maybe I had to get mad at her? Can I ask something? Huh? I'm kinda lost right now. I quickly turned meek. Where can I find the nearest town? There. Don't you have a map or something? We don't. Man, this woman. I'm not sure I believe that. Convenience stores often get asked for directions. You must have a map handy. Is that a rule? Well, we don't have one. Go back wherever you came from. Listen, I've been lost for a few hours now. I don't think I can keep it up for much longer. Sleep on the floor or something. She had to be joking. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'd rather be on my way. Are you sure you can't help? All right. Just wait. The clerk put out her smoke in the ashtray and went to the staff-only area. She came back in no time. Found it. Oh, look, she has eyes. So she did have a map. Of course she did. Even more ill-tempered than usual, the clerk started giving an explanation. This here's the store, and go north to the crossroads. You'll find an overpass soon enough. Cross it. When you come to a fork next to a giant boulder, turn right and head straight. Huh? On this road? What of it? There's nothing there. There's a settlement. It's just not on the map. Do you know any other places? There's Fujiyoshi, but it's 2 hours through a mountain pass. This one's about 30 minutes away. Fujiyoshi seemed to be a village. It didn't look too far away, but the road leading to it was a huge branching mess. It was clearly just a paid mountain pass. I've had enough of those for one day. I'd probably just get lost again. I'll go to that one then. Thank you. Money. Excuse me? You didn't pay for the tea. Well, here's 500 yen. Ding, Russell Jingle. I know I put the stuff on mute, but you can't... Aren't the sound effects at least gonna play? Wait, why'd you put the change in the collection box without asking me? Having too many coins is a pain, ain't it? Well, that was a hell of a line. I casually thanked her, grabbed a plastic bottle of tea, she didn't even give me a bag, by the way, and left the store. Wait, why the hell would you need a bag if you just got a bottle and just drink it? Well, then again, well, okay, no, wait a minute. I was going to say, like, okay, you know, he's on his trip, whatever, but still, like, I'm thinking way too damn hard into this. Let's just continue. I drank the tea in a parking lot and looked up at the moon, obscured by clouds, but still bright enough to outshine the light of the convenience store. The clerk put me in a bad mood, though, so I didn't enjoy the sight. I threw the bottle into a nearby trash can and aggressively drove away. Following the directions, I crossed the overpass and arrived at the first fork in the road. The byway she told me about was really narrow. I probably would have noticed it if it weren't for the tall boulder standing there like a roadside shrine for some traveler deity. Turning carefully, I got on that road. A minute later, I found myself in an even worse wilderness than before. A veil of dead leaves covered the ground, tall grass sided the path, and the sky above was blocked by overgrown shrubs, making it feel like I was passing a wooden tunnel. The road itself was a huge red flag. It was a wonder why I didn't just turn around. The exchange from before might have pissed me off more than I thought. Still, I really didn't expect the road to just end. It happened about 15 minutes in. The view ahead suddenly turned strangely dark, and a split second later, the bike tipped forward. I reflexively hit the brakes, but it was too late. I started going down a cliff. My bike tilted downwards, and suspension was put to the greatest test yet as we basically tumbled down to the bottom. The headlights suddenly shone on some dirt and grass. I knew then that I'd be flung out of my seat. Huh! Stifling a scream, I tried to work some steering and brake magic to slow down without collapsing, but that was too big a task for a simple road bike. At the bottom of the cliff, it jumped higher than ever before. The suspension couldn't handle the impact, and I was launched into the air. A moment later, I heard a crash and felt an impact, after which came an unpleasant pain. Ow. Damn it! An accident where I was flung out like that was a first... An accident where I was flung out like that was a first for me. The launch was really something, too. I did a 360 in the air and I fell on my back. My breathing stopped for a moment and the pain was so bad I thought all my bones shattered. My face and limbs seemed pretty fine, at least. Though I wasn't sure if that counted as a silver lining. There was a grass under my hands. I felt it even through the gloves. That and the small green made it pretty clear what I landed on. I pushed out and my hands sunk. This grass growth was pretty hefty. It was probably the reason why I came out relatively okay. Sure, my joints creaked when I stood up, but aside from that, I was fine. It was really dark, so I couldn't really confirm it, but I was pretty sure I wasn't even bleeding. My bike, however, wasn't nearly as lucky. Oh boy. It was lying on its side a short distance ahead. The engine was still on. The back wheel kept on turning, making unpleasant fricactive noise? Whatever. Yep, it was busted all right. I walked up, killed the engine, and took the key. With the headlights off, I was surrounded by absolute darkness, so I just stood and waited until my eyes adjusted. I still couldn't see very clearly, but it looked like this actually wasn't a cliff. I was still on a road. It just wasn't paved beyond this point. Obviously, a road bike stood no chance against an unpaved road. That woman actually tried to kill me. Zigzagging through the trees, I followed a narrow footpath deeper into the forest. I tried getting my bike up and running again, but instantly gave up. It was partially stuck in mud, so there was a risk of it slipping and getting me into another accident. Maybe I had to turn around? The moment I considered that, I thought I saw a faint light ahead. If that woman wasn't lying, this road led to a settlement. Was I close? I reached into my jacket's pocket, took out my phone, and opened it up. As you'd expect, I was out of range. I ran the light app and shone the light to see better. Though weak, it was better than nothing. At the very least, it helped me watch where I was going. So wait, he has the app? So wait a minute, when does this game take place then? For whatever reason, I thought it took place like later in it, because like he's using an actual map. It's like, dude, is he GPS, man? But whatever. He said he didn't have brain. What? Never mind. I had no idea how long I've been walking for. But sure enough, I could see a light beyond the shrubs. It was weaker than expected. A flashlight, perhaps? I could hear water, too. I might have been near a river. Hello? I raised my voice. Hello? Anyone there? Still declaring my presence, I walked forward. It was late at night. Were I to bump into someone here, the scare would probably take away a few years of our lives. That was why I figured it was best for us just both to let the other know we were here before that happened. However, there was no response. Could they not hear me over the rapids? Hello? I showed my light ahead and realized I'd made it to an opening. Sure enough, there was a river, Or a stream, rather. I could see slightly more than I had while surrounded by trees. Straining my eyes, I saw a rocky river beach in the shallows. The light I'd seen was the other side. From what I can tell, it was either a lantern or a flashlight, and it was close to the ground. I didn't see any people, though. No one responded to my shouting, either. I wasn't excited about it, but I decided to step into the water. The cold water quickly soaked my shoes and socks. I could have taken them off, but I figured that crossing a river barefoot at midnight was a bad idea. Yeah, but for God's sakes, the idea of having wet socks, I don't know about you guys, but those are, at least so far, I hate that feeling. It's one of the crappiest feelings, like, right now, with like anybody to go through. It's like you step on like a puddle or something on accident, your socks all wet. Ugh. But how I read somewhere, like it was like unpopular opinion, somebody said that they purposely take showers with their socks on because they like the feeling, and I could not believe what I was reading at that point. But yeah, no, that was something. But man, was it cold. I put my phone back into my jacket. I needed both my hands free in case I fell. Not stopping or backing down, I walked toward the light. It suddenly became deeper. The water reached my knees now. That was too close for comfort. Feeling the bottom of my toes and balancing myself, I somehow avoided losing my footing. The flow was fiercer than I expected. If I slipped and fell, I'd probably be washed away. It suddenly hit me I was doing something really weird, but it was too late to back down. Putting my hands on boulders and carefully checking what I was stepping on, I gradually made it to the other side. Then, with an unpleasant wet sound in my every step, I walked up to the light. I could already see it clearly. Yep, it was a flashlight lying on the ground for some reason. There wasn't much space here. It was a narrow riverbank with a cliff right beside it. As you'd expect, I didn't see or sense anyone nearby. What the hell? Though old, the flashlight was working fine. The strength of the light told me the battery was pretty full. That meant that someone was actually using this tonight. Or rather, until just a few moments ago. That was the most logical conclusion. It obviously wasn't left here yesterday afternoon or evening. And yet, the user was nowhere in sight. And I was near a river. Did something bad happen? Did the flashlight's owner step into the stream and just get swept away? That was the most likely and worst possible scenario. However, the flashlight was left there practically buried in the pebbles. It didn't seem like someone placed it there to light things up. It was the dead of night. There's no way you wouldn't notice dropping your flashlight when it was so dark. Right. The fact that a light source was left in a place like this was strange by itself. With that considered, what was going on here? What if someone heard my stupid shouting and decided to lure me in with a light so they could ambush me? Where they would attack from? Above? Hello? Oh, I heard a voice the moment I looked up. The rock cliff was actually made up of several boulders. There was a face peeking from behind one of them. Hello? Wow, a person! You surprised me! That was my line. Sorry, could you pick that up for me? The voice was feminine. Oh, whoops! I finally realized what was going on. Oh, so you dropped this? I picked up the flashlight and pointed it at the source of the voice. Ah! High-pitched voice. Slender hands shielding the light. Sure enough, it was a young woman. It's so bright! Oh, sorry. This is me, by the way. That's creepy. Don't shine out from below like that. I'm actually a bit lost. I think a bit is something out of an understatement, then. Yep, thought as much. Is this a settlement? That's a difficult question. Can you help me out at least? Help? I just need a place to hide from the rain and wild animals. That's all. Standing on a boulder, the young woman made a pensive face. You want to come to my place? And that was the conclusion she'd arrived at. And there goes my damn phone. Her face told me she was 100% serious. Place. My place. By that, she surely meant a house. A settlement. Can I? I know I asked for help and all that, but I'm actually desperate enough to not hold myself back. Huh. As a man. Yes. I mean, no. As a living being. I spent the last few hours aimlessly driving around here to fall off my bike. I'm dead tired and at my wit's end here. Oh dear. Then what kind of living being, what type of living being would I be if I just abandoned you? And so, I was saved. Oh, the beauty of living beings looking out for each other. Anyway, your hand, please. You can't climb up on your own, yeah? Well, true. Honestly, I didn't even realize I'd have to. Meeting another person filled me with relief, which was followed by a sudden wave of fatigue. It wasn't crippling, though. She extended her left hand, so I grabbed it with my own left. Her slender fingers were stronger than expected. Hold on. Sorry, I was grabbing my phone. I love the descriptions of everything so far. The girl's name was Chiemi Serizawa. I do apologize if I'm going to butcher all these names. Is it Chiemi or Chiemi? I don't know if it's like 2 or 3 syllables. Either way, I'm sure somebody will correct me. But yeah, she's one of the characters on the cover, so she must be very important. I asked if she was related to the Shinsugumi guy, but she said that her family just adopted a name at some point in the Meiji period. She was a 21-year-old who went to a college far away from here. This was her hometown, and she was spending her post-exams vacation here. We chatted about stuff like that once she let me out at Rocky Ravine. There was actually a proper path, so the rock climbing was pretty pointless, but I was too focused on my footing to comment. She told me about herself as soon as we reached solid ground. And what about you? I'm Haruaki Fusaishi? Dear, I can't even say my own name. Fusashi, I think. Haruaki Fusashi. Oh well. A graduate student in a Tokyo college. Ah, so you're a bit older. I'm 24, so 3 years. I'd say we're in the same age range. Yeah, so don't you dare be formal with me. All right, then you can be casual with me too. Can I really? I like it when girls are friendly with me. Well, I know what you mean. I don't like stiff socializing either. Sure, I'll treat you like a friend. Wouldn't have it any other way. That aside, are we there yet? Not quite. We're like 5 minutes away. Hang in there, Chief. What a lively girl. You could tell she was used to people. Also, watch your step and focus on just the light. Any reason? There are loads of pebbles here. It's dangerous. The moment she said that, I stumbled on a rock too big to be called a pebble. And it's pretty dark tonight. I couldn't even see the moon anymore. Nodding in agreement, I focused on following the light in her hand. I gotta change. Wait here a sec. And so, I did just that. Given this was a mountain settlement, I expected some old wooden house, but she actually lived in an apartment block. It was too dark to get a good look at it. All I could see were the cheap-looking walls like you'd expect from some old boarding house for students. Also, she lived on the 2nd floor, in room 202. I heard some raindrops as we were climbing the rusty stairs, but now it was really pouring. Between that, the darkness, and a large tree right next to the building, it was nearly impossible to see what was going on outside. I felt like I was all alone in the world of nothing but the walls, the door, and a fluorescent lamp above my head. It made me feel somewhat helpless. I distracted myself from that by imagining her changing. Because apparently I'm a pervert like that. Eventually, the door opened up. Sorry about the wait. Come in. All smiles, she showed herself, now wearing sports clothes. This was kind of exciting. The hell, man, we are some weird guy, aren't we? Look at this place. It's completely empty, huh? Yep. But get a load of what's in the fridge. Magnificent. Let's drink. Hell yeah. Oh, wow, yeah. Yep, they, She looks plastered. I know that face. Yeah, her place really was empty. It was just a small room with a low table in the middle, a fridge near her door, and a large duffel bag deeper in. There were 2 old-looking bookshelves, too, but they were completely empty. I wasn't bothered one bit, though. Any girl's room was a wonderland to me. Anyway, you went through some big trouble, so I'll drink to you. And I'll drink to you for helping me out. You're a real saint. We opened up our cans, knocked them together, and downed them. Hey, it was actually good. The pleasant bitterness and the refreshing carbonation made for a good combo. So good. I live for this. Come on, you're too young to say that. Yeah, you're right. I'm not despairing for my future or love life yet. You hear that? That's a sign of job hunting. It's a coming here fast. No, don't say that. It'll ruin my beer. She laughed and took a huge sip. It was pretty clear she could hold her drink. That aside, something really bothered me. This might be a bit late for us, but can I ask you something? Go ahead. Her cheeks were already red. Maybe she didn't handle her liquor as well as I thought. She had a well-featured face, and I didn't think it was wrong to consider her beautiful. Sure, her clothes weren't the least bit sexy, but I could tell she had some makeup on. To you, I'm just some stranger who says he's lost, right? Yep. And you yourself are a young woman who invited that stranger into an enclosed space and started getting drunk. Oh. Now, don't you think this is dangerous? She kept gulping and drink even as she formulated a response. The very fact that I could just watch her do that made this a pretty risky situation. And yet, I wouldn't say so. But time for a Chiemi Serizawa quiz. Yay! Here's the question. My virginity is threatened, yet I don't feel like I'm in danger. Why? What a fun girl. This only made me like her even more, increasing the danger even further. Am I allowed to ask questions? Sure. Can I just assume that it's not just because I look like a good guy? Well, I don't think you look like a bad guy, but no, I doubt you're good either. You look experienced with women, for one. That unintentional compliment showed that she actually did see me as a potential danger. There are 2 types of answers to this. Either you expect nothing bad to happen, but wouldn't be bothered if it did, or you actually want something to happen. I can think of several situations for the former. For example, you're actually on the edge and don't care about what happens. Or maybe you're just confident you can defend yourself. Maybe you know martial arts and you can easily kick my ass. Whoa, so logical. Let me guess. You're a scientist. Well, I guess you could say that. Now, for the latter, if you intend for something to happen, then I'm a thirsty perv or something? Wow, talk about not mincing words. I blame the booze. So, what else is there? Indeed, what other reason could a woman have to bring a stranger to her home? It would surely be something non-standard, like you want to use me somehow. For example, setting me up as an alibi. I could be useful to you by testing that you were here. Whoa, that's so shrewd. Or maybe you're a serial killer who brought me here just to get me drunk and kill me. Wow, so I'm just some evil mountain witch now. Sounds great. I'll kill you real good. Sploosh, sploosh. What kind of sound effect was that? Thank you, game, for reading my mind there. By the way, you forgot another case. I did? Yep, I could just be a really good person who simply wants to help you. Was it time for me to be ashamed of my filthy mind? But wait, is that really important enough to risk being assaulted? Oh, so you're thinking of assaulting me? I'm just talking in general. You know, the cliche scenario. She stopped talking and turned red. It was so cute, I thought she was actually doing it on purpose. Man, was she drunk. And we were just on our second cans. Then how about this? If I don't let you stay here, something even worse would happen and I'd feel real bad. What, care to elaborate there? There's some scary wild animals around here. You might have gotten torn up and eaten. Then had left a bad taste in my mouth, so I figured I'd just let you stay instead. I see. So you're balancing risk and goodwill. Didn't really expect that. Really now? You got any idea how much of a bad guy you seem right now? Huh? I do? I mean, you assumed I was a thirsty perv, a serial killer, or needed an alibi before considering I was just a nice person. You're the one who brought up the perv thing. Details. So, what's the right answer? Huh? We're not just messing around? Get it right, and I'm giving you a nice present. Get it wrong, and you're dead. Sploosh, sploosh. Seriously? Wow. There's actually a choice here. And I need key number 20 to get whatever choice here. Damn. I don't know. I actually don't know what the hell I want to go with here. I don't like a lot of them. Like, I hate saying she's a perv or desperate. I mean, I can't really trust her, so maybe she needs an alibi, but you know what? I'll just take the least abrasive answer here, and I'll just say that she'll feel guilty. I was right? Or did the game just tell me, was it like, one of those things where no matter what you choose, you're going to be right? Actually, well, hold on. Let's take a look at the chart here. So, 0, start, or in dense mist, and then, hold on a minute, previous, okay, so it goes into here, and that's locked, her objective, so wait a minute, it almost looks like no matter what, like, the choices that we made is like the ones that were not locked, all of them were in one path, and the lock or key 20 is in another path. Maybe that's what it was. Whatever. Ding, 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 ding. You're right. Oh, cool. Well, I wasn't joking when I said this area is dangerous. There's deers, boars, wild dogs, and bears. I actually saw deer and boars myself, but bears? Yep. Moon bears, though. They aren't big, but they do attack. It's pretty dangerous out there. That's just wild. But there's something even worse. What? Wait, worse than bears? Snakes, monkeys, crows, spiders? Huh? Wait, were they venomous or something? I really doubted that. Those really didn't seem worse than bears. Also, wolves. There aren't any wolves in Japan. Yeah, they are. You're in the sticks, you know. She smiled and drank out of the third can. Speaking of wolves, whatever the reason, you ended up coming into a pretty girl's home. Won't you become a wolf yourself? Nope. What a gentleman. Have another one. I wasn't too sure, but I felt like she dodged the subject. Perhaps I wasn't being cautious enough. But then again, I've been wandering aimlessly for a long time now. I had enough recklessness in me to enjoy sharing a drink with a cute if shady girl. And now it is the very next day. It says autosave, but why can't I continue? There you go. Actually, that might have been a good place to stop. frankly, I think this is actually a decent place to stop. I know we're not exactly an hour in. I know the sheep didn't show up yet to tell me end of the line, but I think for what we saw so far, it was it's kind of giving us an idea. This is a visual novel. It's going to take time before things really ramp up, So I would say just hold on. Like if you guys are still kind of wondering, is this going to be something I'm going to be like really, really into? It's probably going to take a good number of hours before like stuff really goes down. I think a good example of that literally was what I was playing before was Neo, The World Ends With You. That is a game that, in my opinion, took a good while before you really got into the meat and bones of the gameplay, the story, what really got you hooked. So I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing here. This is, once again, it's a visual novel. The story's going to keep building and building and building. So I was just told that it's a pretty damn good one. It involves a lot of this werewolf mafia type of esque scenario. It's apparently scary. It's apparently grotesque. So if you guys are into that, just hold on and we'll take it from there. But for the time being, that is going to be it for me today. And next time, we will continue going down this path, which, I guess no matter what choice I made, I was going to go down here. So it doesn't seem like it branches off too dramatically. I think it's more so it's a fork. It doesn't like branch off into like 4 or 5 different things. Like whatever choice you make, it's either left or right, At least that's what I'm thinking so far. So forgive me if I'm totally off here. So there's that. So, as usual, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time for Let's Play Raging Loop. Love you all so much. Have a great day.